You're very welcome back. Parts of the country are still badly affected by flooding following heavy rains over the weekend. Carlow Town is the worst hit. Parts of it are under 2 metres of water after the River Barrow burst its banks. Roads in Tipperary, Kilkenny, Offaly and Galway are also waterlogged. It's predicted more rain is yet to come. Dubliner Ronnie Drew will be laid to rest in Greystones in County Wicklow later on this morning. Friends and colleagues, many from the music industry, will gather at the church where a musical tribute will be played. The 73-year-old folk legend lost his battle with throat cancer at the weekend. And Gary Glitter has been released from prison in Vietnam after serving 27 months in prison for child molestation. His lawyer said the 63-year-old was deported to Britain this morning. Glitter, whose real name is Paul Gadd, was jailed in March of last year for sexually attacking 2 girls aged 10 and 11. His 3-year sentence was cut last year under a national amnesty. I'll take all the sports news, Kieran.
Thanks very much, Siobhan. Well, 2 Irish boxers can claim Olympic medals in Beijing this afternoon. Kenny Egan faces Brazil's Washington Silva in the quarterfinals of the light heavyweight division. A win and he qualifies for the semi-finals and is guaranteed at least a bronze medal. And light flyweight Paddy Barnes is in a similar situation ahead of his last 8 fight against Poland's Lukas Mazczyk at 12 o'clock. Joe Kernan has ruled himself out of the running to become the next Dublin manager. Paul Caffrey quit the job after Saturday's GAA All-Ireland Senior Football quarter-final defeat at the hands of Tyrone, and the former Armagh boss was immediately linked to the job. However, he says he couldn't take the position while his sons are playing for Armagh. And Derby winner New Approach returns to the track for the first time since his Epsom win and faces up to Aidan O'Brien's Duke of Marmalade in the Juddmonte International at York this afternoon. O'Brien's horse is looking for a 5th successive Group 1 win for the season. Alan's outside now with a look at the weather.
Help Avonmore support Barrettstown Camp for children with serious illness. Always perfect for serious fun.
The AFL started the Aussie Rules International Cup in 2002, and in its inaugural year, Ireland won it. This year we're going down under once more to try and recapture the cup, with players made up from rugby, hurling and GAA football. But is this a good idea, or is it just cannibalising existing sports in this country? We're joined now by Coach Roger Clark and one of the players travelling to Australia, David Walsh. You're both very welcome. This, for people who might not be aware, is an initiative set up by the AFL to promote the game across the world. And it's working reasonably well. They now estimate 30,000 players playing out of Australia in leagues on a regular basis. But the standard probably would be nowhere near AFL standards, which is a fair comment, because that's a professional league, and I suppose that's an honest comment. So where are you in terms of playing the game? Is it just completely amateur and fun, or is there aspirations to maybe move to a higher level?
Well, at the moment, it is purely amateur, but who knows in the future where the game's going. I mean, we've got 16 countries competing in Australia this year. And in 30 years from now, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, and it could turn into a fully professional sport around the world.
How many clubs in this country?
There's 5 currently in this country, and that fluctuates on depending which year the cup is run as well.
All right. How'd you get involved?
I got involved back in the start, back in 2000 it was, and just kind of stumbled across the Arfli website and got in touch with a few guys, and I was at the very first training session in Ireland, and I've been at it since. And
had you been to Australia prior to this and seen a game in action, or?
No, just on TV and on the internet, and just kind of wanted to get involved in playing it, and now I'm going to Australia myself. Like, so.
And what other sports have you been playing up until then?
I've been playing Gaelic and rugby, Gaelic at home, and then when I got to college, I picked up rugby. And you were enjoying that and thought, well, this is a different game, and it's more intense, but perhaps. Yeah, well, it's something totally different, like kind of a combination of the 2 games, and I just wanted to give it a try. And
so you've been playing ever since and enjoying?
Yeah, I've been playing since.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, there's the argument, the fear factor, the GAA sort of saying we don't want the AFL here cherry picking our players. But I mean, I don't think they can really stop them coming in if they want to have a look at players, and if they're offering a livelihood to a young chap who wants to move abroad, well, it's up to him really, isn't it? Not perhaps the association. This tournament down under, how is it run then? Is it strictly amateur?
Absolutely.
All the other countries?
Strictly amateur. People that compete in this tournament have to be full citizens of the countries, and Australia's not involved in the competition at all.
Okay, other than overseeing the running of it.
Absolutely.
Looking at some of the players, though, at the pro level, you seem to be about 6'10" and about 18 stone of muscle to play it. Is that true?
Well, there's a few boys that are good and big, but then you've got a mixture of guys as well. You've got a few guys that are about 5'6", you know.
Speed,
yeah, and then you've got a few guys that are just in the middle as well, in and around the 6 foot mark.
So I remember Jim and Brian Steins were in here when the International Rules Series was on.
Yeah.
And goodness me, Brian is a big lad, but Jim is absolutely, I mean, he's a monster.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of 6'6", he must be.
Yeah.
He had hands like shovels, and you could see, I mean, he'd have no problem holding his own in the middle of the park. Tell us a bit about this Irish team then, because you won it first year, second year out you didn't. This year you're second favourites to lift the trophy.
Yeah, look, we've got a good side this year. It's a good mix of height, speed as well. We've been working hard over the last year to bring the team together. So we're going over with the motivation that we did lose the last cup, and we want it back. We want to bring it back to Ireland.
Okay, now this is not the International Rules Compromise Series or anything like that. International Rules is not now. This is purely AFL. How long did it take you to get a handle on it?
It took me a good few years. Like the hardest thing was probably getting the little rules and getting the bounce of the ball right and getting the kick of the ball sweetly. Like, but I think I've kind of nailed that one on the head pretty well out at this stage.
Now, fundraising, you're going down under your own steam. Any sponsors involved? Anyone giving you dig out, or is entirely the players looking after themselves?
Well, there was kind of a sponsorship lottery done where each player had to raise €3,000.
Okay.
And each company that gave us money, kind of their name was put into a draw, and then the winner will be the main sponsor on the jerseys.
So that's good. So there was some fundraising.
So it was a good incentive.
Okay. Roger, was it difficult to sort of train this lad up? I mean, you're coming from that background, so you know all about it, and suddenly there's guys there who were enthusiastic, perhaps, but maybe a little else in some cases.
Oh, look, the one thing about the Irish is that they've got a similar sport, which is Gaelic, and even hurling, surprisingly, and rugby. So it was a natural progression into AFL. I mean, as Dave said, a few of the little skills need to be tinkered with, but generally, look, they're very good. They're very fast, and the more we train, the better they get.
All right, you're heading down under tomorrow evening. It's 3 weeks. Best of luck. Come back in afterwards. Let us know how you get on. All right, we're very interested to see how you fare. Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, coming after the break, Web Wonder Maeve Nisi will be giving us the top 5 websites of the week.